So the other night I was watching Much Music, which is like, I guess, the Canadian MTV. And I noticed something that started to bug me a little bit. Now don't get me wrong, I have nothing against rap as a genre. I kind of like some of it actually. I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's not bad either. What bugs me is when I'm listening to a pop song or a rock song and some rapper interjects for a verse. And usually these rappers aren't even very good. To me, a rap song needs to have a good beat and lyrics that rhyme. And not just dumb rhymes, they have to be good rhymes. These guys don't have it. I'm not sure the actual name of the song. I'm gonna guess it's I'm Coming Home. Yeah, it's got this really awesome kind of musical chorus with these women in the desert. And then the rapper jumps in. The same thing with Katy Perry's E.T. I don't know, it doesn't work for me. And again, if they were making rhymes and actually had something to say or something to add, I'd be fine with it. But I can't stand how every single song has these guys coming in. What? I know you're listening to the song, but I got something to get off my chest. Don't worry, it won't take too long. I'm not gonna bother singing it or trying to rhyme all that much. I'm even gonna try and cram too many syllables into a sentence while I say as such. Boo! Get off the stage. Get off the stage. If I want to hear a rap song, I will download a rap song, okay? I've always been more of a fan of rock anyway. Rock formations, that is, such as stalactites and stalagmites. And you can see plenty of these in Sub-Terrania for the Sega Genesis. Sub-Terrania is one of those Sega Genesis games that's awesome without actually being awesome. And I know that's going to take some explanation, but the thing about Genesis is it's cool, man. Nintendo, they cared about quality and gameplay and all these things. Sega, they wanted to be cool. Just look at their mascot, Sonic. He tries way too hard. I'm not saying it's got its hat on backwards or forwards to an angle to try and be cool. It's not wearing shades or a chain, no. But Sub-Terrania is just one of those things. Just listen to the title. Sub-Terrania. Yeah, man, let's go back to my house and play some Sub-Terrania. Yeah, it's awesome. That's all there is to it. I actually love this title. That's why I picked up the game. That and it has a dragon on the front. Oh, yeah. Of course, I might be mislabeling this game a bit. It's not what you would expect. It's actually closer to Gradius or R-Type, a kind of scrolling shooter, but with an open-ended exploration element. You pilot a ship that can fly around in the underground caves, and your goal is to stop an alien invasion by accomplishing certain objectives. This is actually a pretty cool setup for a game. It reminds me a little bit of Blaster Master for the NES, but unfortunately it's not quite that good. Looking at the footage, you might think that Sub-Terrania is a top-down shooter, but you would be wrong. It's actually completely side-scrolling, and the gravity is always pulling you down. And this makes for a very, very steep learning curve, one that I personally could never get over. It is extremely hard to position your ship in the right direction, shoot an enemy while dodging its shots, and keeping yourself afloat. So, in case the footage isn't clear enough for you, I will demonstrate using this Banshee. You are constantly falling, so what you need to do is thrust your way up. And you can turn in the 8 directions. Well, 8 directions. And of course, you know, sometimes the laser doesn't cut it, so you use the Banshee bomb. Actually, I just really want to play with this Banshee. This has nothing to do with Sub-Terrania. It just requires too much coordination. And if that's your bag, you might actually like Sub-Terrania, because I guess other than that, it's pretty solid, at least the parts I've played. I'll be honest, I can only really get through the first few levels of this, and I never felt confident in any of my movements. And it wouldn't be so bad, except that even hitting a wall will drop your shield, so me, being a terrible pilot, pretty much die before I even get to an enemy. And of course, when I do find an enemy, they're incredibly hard to fight, and they usually just kick my ass. Yeah, that's what happens. make matters worse, there's a fuel meter, and as we all know, this is something that never works in video games. People don't want to have to watch fuel, gas prices the way that... Nah, no one wants to worry about that. People just want to fly through and shoot aliens. This game, it asks a bit more of you than you're willing to give. Luckily, some of the boss fights are made a little bit easier by this really cool rail system. Now this, I like. The ship can kind of latch on to these rails and slide along while still shooting. This helps keep you in the battle and shooting while also being able to dodge attacks. In fact, the game might be better if the whole thing was on rails, but that might be missing the point. I'm wondering if these are the same aliens from the War of the Worlds remake, or if those aliens are the same ones from Sub-Terrania. Because think about it, man, they were buried underground. This game takes place underground. Yeah. You see the connection, right? The mission objectives are actually pretty varied. Sometimes you have to rescue hostages or locate objects. Sometimes you even have to blast your way through rocks using lasers and mirrors. That's cool, and I'm sure as the game progresses, things get even better. It's just a shame that it takes so much effort to get there. And of course, being a Sega Genesis game, once you're dead, game over, back to the beginning. Ouch, ouch, ouch. I guess it's kind of an arcade experience because they have the highest score table, but I highly doubt anyone really exchanges Sub-Terrania high scores anymore. In terms of music, this game is phenomenal. And I know, most Sega Genesis games have good music, but this one, oh my gosh, wowie, awesome. So as you can see, I'm kind of torn on Sub-Terrania. On one hand, it's technically impressive, and I love the idea, but on the other hand, it's really hard to get into. And I know there's people who excel at this type of game, and it is a must-buy for them, especially considering how cheap it is these days. But if you get frustrated easily, or just suck at video games like I do, then this is probably one you should skip. Yeah. It's unfortunate, I know. I really want to like Sub-Terrania. I really want to get into it and beat it. Of course, I say that about every game. Objective: dock on the Pillar of Genesis. Warning! Warning! Incoming Sub-Terranias! And scene.